So you have probably guessed from the title what I'm talking about, and yes, it's the iOS. So iOS was one of the best mobile platform a decade ago in terms of the innovation, the simplicity, the user convenience. But yeah, that's not the case in today's date because the Android, which is the biggest rival of the iOS or the Apple in the smartphone market, occupies the 75% of the smartphone market. And there are various reasons. The Android market is composed of various Android smartphone companies, and the Apple is like a single company selling few products in the market every year. But yeah, one of the reasons why the Apple is falling behind the Android, it's like the iOS. So if you look at this phone, this is the iPhone 7 Plus, and you are somehow looking the same thing that is a decade ago. So if you look on this software on this home screen, you are basically looking at an iPhone 4S, I think, or an iPhone 5S. In that much time, the smartphone market has changed very much. New things, new designs, new build material, new screens are introduced every single year. Every company tries to go ahead the other in terms of the innovation, in terms of the beauty, in terms of the price. And the price is the biggest dimension in the smartphone industry nowadays, because there are many good smartphones at a very low price now available in the smartphone market. But yeah, iPhones doesn't have changed the price. It's like going higher and higher, and if the price don't go higher, then you are just getting the same thing repackaged simply, and yeah, you are getting a phone that is several years old. But yeah, I think the so-called tech experts will say that, oh, we are getting the Apple A13 Bionic, so if the processor matters that much, then why people are using the older phones? So they should have thrown away their older phones if the processor is that much necessary, if the updated processor is that much necessary for every average consumer. No, that's not the case. People use the phones that their processors are much older than the newer processors, because the processor is, yeah, it matters a lot in terms of the speed, in terms of the performance, but not every average consumer that just want to pay that just don't want to pay a higher price for the same thing repackaged. So the iOS is simply boring. It's like simply outdated, and yeah, I know the tech experts on the YouTube are saying that, oh, we are getting the widgets on the iPhone, thank you. So the iOS is simply boring. It's like nothing has changed. After 10 years, I think there are a little bit small upgrades in terms of the practicality, in terms of the usability. Yeah, I think the Apple apps are very much useful compared to the Android, to be very honest. But yeah, nothing has changed in terms of the home screen, in terms of your user experience over 10 years, I think. First of all, this UI, this home screen is so outdated, it's so boring, it's so colorless. So these icons do not have, the colors of these icons are like faded. Looking at this screen is so boring. It's like you are looking at something that is very outdated. It's not beautiful. Yeah, I know the apps there are very useful apps in the App Store compared to the Android, but yeah, the colors are faded, and this gearbox of the settings, this hasn't much changed. Like 10 years, this compass of the Safari hasn't changed that much like after 10 years. So it's kind of crazy for a company that's pricing the phones much higher than the other phones in the market, the good smartphones available in the market. The battery capacity hasn't much changed. Yeah, in the Android market there are I think unlimited options of the battery life. You can get very solid battery life from the Android, and within a very reasonable price. So that's like a plus point for the Android. This user interface simply is not beautiful. The One UI of the Samsung has much improved. The Android is now more matured, it's more refined. And the notifications, the Apple hasn't fixed the notification problem on these iPhones even after 10 years. So it's like you are stuck in your phone. It's something that is more frustrating. This so-called taptic engine. It's like, so I think why someone will put something that is not visible to everyone, that everyone is not gonna feel. You are just feeling a little vibration over your phone. That can be obtained by fitting a vibrating motor in this phone. So it's like, yeah, we are getting the taptic engine. So it's like a home button without any click, and click is produced by something, it's like executed by something that is more hyped in this phone. And now the tech experts will be saying that, oh, thank you Apple, you are giving us the picture-in-picture mode. Oh, now we can watch the video on the home screen like in a small window. Yeah, and that's very innovative. And yeah, that forget that this thing was given by the Android several years ago. The camera app is simply boring. It's like you do not have any control over here. Every time you have to go to the settings and then to find out the camera option in the settings, and then to fix various settings of the camera app that are actually of the camera app. But yeah, you have to go every time in the settings. So it's like the user have very much time in taking photos and setting the photos, and like everyone is gonna go to the settings and making settings over there, and the special moments of taking photos have gone every time. I don't know why the Apple is like forcing their own ideas on the average consumers, and they don't listen to the people, what they want and what they are comfortable with. You just simply do not have an app drawer where all of your apps can be seen. And yeah, that's like after 10 years people are celebrating that we are getting an app library that is like very useful, that is intelligently placed. The apps are very intelligently placed. So it's like you can only change the wallpaper of your phone. There is nothing in your control, and the Apple is forcing you to apply their own ideas on you, and just they do not listen to your choice. This status bar is a little bit useful, but yeah, these big bars and shapes are without any color are so much boring in terms of the beauty, in terms of the comfort to eyes. The file management has not progressed over and over the years, so you are just simply stuck in your phone's memory, in your phone's library, and you are messing the things around here and there. And content sharing is very frustrating, and it's very difficult. Everyone knows over and over the years, and even with the sharing with the other Apple devices, it's like more frustrating. And this browser, it's like old, it's frustrating, and it's definitely slow. And talking about this maps, so now the YouTubers will be saying that, oh, we are getting the driving mode or the bicycle mode, so we are getting new and new features in the maps. And yeah, they forget again that the Google Maps were more useful and more refined several years ago. So the iOS is very much frustrating and very much boring for me in terms of the changing patterns in the smartphone industry, and in terms of the innovation, in terms of the beauty, in terms of the comfort to the eyes, and enjoying using this thing. So not in terms of the practicality and the user convenience and the simplicity. And yeah, the iOS is it's simple, it's more convenient, and it's more practical. The apps on the iOS are very much useful, although they are very expensive, and you can get the better alternate apps in the Android. And yeah, it's getting regular software updates, but what we'll do with that software updates that makes the phone much slower. So the older phones are getting more and more slow with the passage of time compared to the Android. So the phones which are running the Android 6 or the Android 7 nowadays are much faster, and the performance is very good at that Android phones compared to the iOS, which are running on older iOS versions. With the iOS, it feels like you are stuck in something, and you have to embrace the things that are offered to you, and yeah, you just don't have any control on your phone like the Android. In the Android, you are having a complete control of your phone. So there are a lot of customizations on the Android, and the Androids can be flashed with the custom ROMs. That means that you can get many features and many customizations of the latest phones on your older phones, and you can just and you can just enjoy the speed and the performance of the newer phones on the older phones. So it's like you are getting more out of your phone. And with the iOS, you are just getting software updates over and over again that are not gonna change your phone, and instead they are gonna slow down your phone. So the iOS was the best mobile platform several years ago in the smartphone market. The RAM management on the iOS is very excellent. The speed and the performance on the iOS was very excellent. It was like always far ahead in the speed and the performance than the Android. Overall, this software is very frustrating, not in terms of the practicality, and this software is it's like older, and you just feel that you are using something very old and very outdated. But yeah, for those who just want simplicity and more usability out of these apps and this phone, so they just don't care about the icons, the colors of the icons, and the changing shape of this user interface. So yeah, they are gonna stuck in this thing. So I think I have mentioned so many bad sides of the iOS, but yeah, it definitely have more pros as well, like I mentioned earlier. And yeah, that's pretty much it about the iOS. In my next video, I will be discussing the Apple and the iPhones overall. So stay connected for that, and please be sure to subscribe and like if you like this video. See you in the next one.